time for our weekly Rockin Company's Rockin CU, featuring Adam Munsterteiger of BuffStampede.com. You can follow him on Twitter at AdamCM777. Brought to you by Rockin Company, making Colorado beautiful with natural stone construction. 5 decades. RockinCo.com. And Zadie's Deli hitting it out of the park. Those great overstuffed sandwiches with corned beef, pastrami, and the other deli treats. Free parking front and back in Cherry Creek, 121 Adams Street, and they cater. Zadie's Deli. And welcome, good morning, good Memorial Day weekend morning, Adam Munsterteiger.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. The Tumpkin investigation into domestic abuse and how University of Colorado handled their defensive coordinator, letting him call plays and continuing on after allegations were raised about personal conduct in the bowl game. That whole investigation is over, and so far, no report one way or the other on what happened there, and no extension to National Coach of the Year Mike McIntyre's contract.
Yeah, kind of at a stalemate right now. You mentioned that the investigation is complete, and actually the Regents had plenty of time to go through. It's a 97-page report, so a really long report, and they went over that, and then they met pretty much all day on Monday behind closed doors, and there was a sense that likely in the afternoon, in fact, in the release for that meeting, they had mentioned that there might be action taken in the afternoon, but there wasn't. Instead, it kind of sounded, again, closed-door meeting. We weren't, unfortunately, wasn't a fly on the wall in there, but it sounds like it's basically a hung jury type situation. And I think Pat Rooney from the Boulder Daily Camera said it best when he tweeted out they basically decided to punt in this situation because what they're doing is they're now directing Bruce Benson, the university's president, to outline any necessary changes that he feels need to be made to the university policies. The Regents want him to specify how training is going to be enhanced going forward. And they've also asked for him to give his recommendations in terms of the appropriate action for the CU employees involved in this situation. So they spent all this time discussing it, and yet they weren't able to come to any conclusions themselves, and now they're asking the president to do that. You mentioned the report has not been made public. It sounds like there's only going to be an abbreviated version made public at some point, so basically a report of the report. At this stage, though, Michael, it seems like this is a university issue. Yes, they need to change their training policies so these mandated reporters know what their responsibilities are in that role. It doesn't seem at this stage that it's a Mike McIntyre issue. It seems like they should have been able to go ahead and vote on this, but they continue to drag their feet, prolong this. Now, they did release a statement on Monday, and it says that they are going to take up the contract extension for McIntyre at their next scheduled meeting in mid-June. But again, it just seems like they could have reached a conclusion on Monday. Instead, this drags on, and you have to wonder how much this sours McIntyre on CU long-term.
I agree, and I heard even Rick George perhaps too. But before I bring Mark Kisley on this, I want to say to you both, I don't see why there has to be any punishment or a fall guy here. Since McIntyre kicked it upstairs, I don't think he should be at fault. It depended on advice to others. Rick George can withstand anything there. He's coming off great success. I think he might be getting fed up with this whole thing, but he certainly took it higher than his station as well. I think if they are smart, they will find there was incomplete training for the staff, and both get a pass of sorts.
Yeah, I think so. That again, this is a 97-page report that we don't have access to, and from what I can gather, and of course I've reached out to people and tried to figure out what's going on here, it doesn't sound like there's anything earth-shattering. If you read the Sports Illustrated piece that was from basically the view of the victim, it made you cringe a few times. And again, the university has come out and said, yes, we did not handle this perfectly. It's like, at some point, this all happened back in December. At some point, you have to move on, and it seems like that point should be now. But again, yeah, absolutely, they need to change their university policies. Mike McIntyre's a football coach. He thought he was doing the right thing by going to his superior. He had not been trained properly in his role as a mandated reporter that you have to go to the Office of Inequity and Compliance. And, yeah, I mean, again, it's not a fireable offense on any level.
Well, I want to bring Kiz in on this, too.
I don't know all the details. I don't know the whole story. I'm not sure anybody knows the whole story. I was more disturbed by the Sports Illustrated report than than maybe some CU fans. I don't think anybody handled it very well, but everybody's human. I get that. This one, are they gonna vote to extend this contract or not? That it shouldn't have gone on this long. Do your investigation, make your mind up. It makes you look weak all around this way. It leaves McIntyre hanging, and it gives people that are advocates for women in domestic violence issues to say, hey, there must be something here. The judgment on this has taken too long, and it makes CU leadership look inadequate. So my question: in June, are they going to give them the extension or not? What's your prediction?
I would be shocked. Yeah, I think yes, they're dragging their feet as long as they can, but they're going to eventually approve this contract. And yeah, I think it happens in mid-June.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with both of you. Making it drag on this long, maybe they think they're letting it die out. I don't know. Has been maybe the biggest mistake made in all of this, and not jumping on it, getting something done. Let's talk a little football. Blake Stenstrom from Valor Christian is the quarterback commit for the University of Colorado 2018 class, and he has made the final 25 invitation of those who are battling to be in the prestigious Elite 11 quarterback competition. This is a guy who still hasn't started as a high school quarterback, playing behind Dylan McCaffrey last year. His summer camp must be really impressive.
Yeah, the way they do it for the Elite 11 finals, it's kind of a cool thing. They don't care about stars. They don't really care about offers or your stats from your junior season. What they do is they host these regional camps across the country, and if you perform really well at one of these camps, that's what your invitation is going to be based on. So Blake Stenstrom went out to New Orleans, competed in a regional event out there, and during the testing portion of it, actually ranked in the 98th percentile of all prospects in his class. And this is a guy that's known more as a pocket passer, and a lot of those drills are obviously agility and power and strength and all that stuff. So that was pretty impressive. And then during the passing portion of that regional camp, did really well. And like you said, one of the top 25 guys in the country, only 25 guys to get that invite. So now he gets to go out to Los Angeles the first weekend in June and compete against these guys and really see how he stacks up. It was tough when Blake Stenstrom committed to CU. I don't think people knew how to react just because there wasn't a whole lot of tape on him having to wait behind Dylan McCaffrey there at Valor. So this certainly looks like Colorado's, I guess you call it a little bit of a risky offer just because he hadn't played a whole bunch at the high school level, was limited in terms of his reps, and now he's certainly showcasing himself at these camps. And they do, I think last year they invited the top 12 out to the opening camp. So they rank him after these finals. We'll see how he stacks up with those top 25.
I don't think it's a risky offer, and I can say that on firsthand information. I'm one of the few knuckleheads in the state that actually watched, I think it was 3 Valor practices I watched this past year. And the first thing that struck me was like, they've got 3 Division I quarterbacks on that team. They had Dylan McCaffrey, they had Stenstrom, and they had McCaffrey's little brother.
Luke, yeah.
And I was like, holy moly. But I can say this. I don't want to say too much because I haven't seen Stenstrom play in a game. On more than one occasion at a Valor practice, I wasn't sure that Dylan McCaffrey was the best quarterback on that team.
Wow.
So
well,
I think Stenstrom's talent is for real. Is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, and Stenstrom is not going to play for Harbaugh at Michigan. He's going to play right here in Boulder. That is cool. Adam, what's coming up this week on BuffStampede.com?
Well, we're transitioning from our position post-spring breakdowns to our top 40 Buffs countdown, so be on the lookout for that.
All right. He is Adam Munsterteiger. Follow him, AdamCM777, BuffStampede.com. Must reading. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And that's Rockin Company's Rockin CU. Brought to you by the folks making Colorado beautiful with natural stone for 5 generations. 5 decades and 2 generations. Let's not make them too old over there at Rockin Company. And Zadie's Deli hanging out of the park with the overstuffed sandwiches at 121 Adams Street. My favorite place for lunch and doing business.